Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy RJGameNewsUSA here, back today with the news. So, we're going to talk about Nintendo. They spoke about the tariffs and why you're not entitled to a refund, apparently. And Miyamoto also discusses remakes. So, if you like this kind of content, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to jump right into it. So we're going to do a video react instead of just reading the article. I think sometimes it's fun to switch it up. So the first clip is going to be from Smash JT, in which we discuss the Nintendo denying tariff refunds to customers. And I'm going to give my take on it. So let's play the clip.
On X, Nintendo has asked a federal judge to throw out the class action lawsuit over its tariff refunds. In its response, Nintendo argues there is no legal requirement to refund customers if it later recovers tariff costs from the US government. The company says businesses are not obligated to retroactively lower prices after a sale is completed, even if their costs change later. The lawsuit claims Nintendo would be paid twice by collecting higher prices from consumers and then receiving tariff refunds. Good.
Now, we discussed this on the channel a while ago. Customers suing Nintendo in a class action lawsuit wanting a tariff refund. Now, I gotta be honest. I honestly am a consumer advocate. However, I actually agree with Nintendo on this case. They sold you a product at a price that you voluntarily paid for. Bottom line, you want to hit these companies where it hurts, don't buy their products when they raise their prices. Now, in comparison to Microsoft and Sony, I believe Nintendo has raised their prices the least. I think they really jacked it up on accessories. That is true. But their consoles, their games are way cheaper generally than Microsoft or Sony's. Now, I will say this. Nintendo's being hypocritical here. They don't want to give out refunds for the tariffs, but yet they're gladly taking a refund for the tariffs from the US government. Personally, I think the ruling that the US government said the tariffs were illegal is the problem to begin with. Now, I hate the tariffs just as much as the next guy. I think they were really stupid. However, going by the logic Nintendo laid out, hey, don't come crying to us for more money if you completed the sale. Well, then if that's the case, then why is Nintendo bargaining and wanting money from the US government for a price they agreed to ship the shit? So let's remember that as we go forward in the story.
Good guy Nintendo double dipping on money, and this piled on top of the Pal World lawsuit that we've talked about many times, that Nintendo is getting their ass absolutely handed to them in court right now. They're probably like, we need to make as much money as possible double dipping on this other stuff to pay for our Pal World lawsuit. Nintendo wants a judge to dismiss a lawsuit demanding tariff refunds for gamers who paid higher prices for Switch 2 products. The company says customers got exactly what they paid for and aren't entitled to rebates. And I have many other stories to talk about with this and more.
That's a pretty hardline stance. But again, I think Nintendo, legally speaking, is correct. Now, where they're not correct is with the Pal World lawsuit, where they think they can patent throwing a ball and capturing a monster, or being able to ride a Pokemon or a monster. They want to patent that in Japan, and even Japan, their patent office told them to go kick rocks. So don't worry, Nintendo does need the money because they're going to lose that Pal World lawsuit, in my opinion, and they should lose the Pal World lawsuit. Again, I'm not paid by Nintendo. I'm not a Nintendo shill. I just call it like I see it. Sometimes Nintendo has W's. Sometimes they make sense and have good takes. Sometimes they don't. In this case, I believe they're correct, but they're being extremely hypocritical as well by taking the tariff money, but then not letting the customers have any as well. with the same reasoning. So, yeah, I think that's hypocritical. But that's not the only story we got. We got another story. This is about Miyamoto and why they decided to come out with certain remakes when they did, and why certain games were released when they did. And my blood boils about this one even more, to be completely honest. Now, this is a clip from Game Explain.
What started development first, Fox McCloud in the Mario Galaxy movie or the new Star Fox game? It's basically a modern chicken and the egg problem, but we may finally have an answer thanks to a new interview Miyamoto gave with Famitsu in Japan, which has been helpfully translated into English thanks to Nintendo Everything. I wanted to go over some of the highlights, including Miyamoto's thoughts on there being too many remakes, whether he's going to produce any more games in the future, beyond his current role, or as part of his current role at Nintendo, and also an idea he has for how to use Mii characters in an interesting way. So let's get to it. Let's start off with the movie stuff first, because they were asked in how Nintendo develops their lineup, and this is where the talk of the movies came into play, where Miyamoto mentioned that they had the idea to have Fox in the Mario movie thanks to Illumination, and they specifically decided we want a new Star Fox game to go along with it, which might...
Okay, so here we go. This is already where I'm mad, and maybe you'll see why. I am wearing a Mario shirt, okay? They thought, gee, Star Fox is going to be in the next Mario movie. We need to get a Star Fox game out for the movie. Okay, cool. You know what other character is in the Mario movie that could use a game around the Mario movie? I'll give you a second to decide. Oh, I don't know. How about fucking Mario himself? You nincompoops. Why do you develop a Mario movie and be like, well, Star Fox has a few scenes in it, let's make a Star Fox game? And you come to the conclusion to make Star Fox, but you don't make a fucking Mario game. You could have remade Mario 64. Instead, we get Star Fox 64. Last I checked, this wasn't a Star Fox movie. This was a Mario movie, you fucking morons.
Which might explain why it's a remake rather than an all-new game, because a lot of the work was already done, and they could just, kind of relatively quickly get a new Star Fox game out there to coincide with the movie. That's just my own, addition there. He didn't say anything along those lines. However, he also mentions that Yoshi the Mysterious Book followed a very similar scheme here, where it was decided early on that Yoshi would appear in the Mario Galaxy movie, so he decided to make a Yoshi game, and that's how development...
Whoa! Yoshi's in the Mario Galaxy movie, so let's make a Yoshi game. You know what else is a good idea? You know what else could be a good idea? Let me think. How about Super Mario Galaxy 3, you fucking idiots? How about that for an option?
Element of Yoshi and the Mysterious Book began. So the way he said it almost makes it sound like that game had maybe a longer development period than Star Fox, which again helps explain why that's an all-new game versus Star Fox being a remake. Now, interestingly, he also talks about the first movie too, and how Princess Peach Showtime was in development around the same time. And that's when...
So this went on in the first movie. Hey, the first Mario movie's coming out. Peach is in it. Spoiler alert. I know. Let's make a Peach game. You know, the main character of the Mario movie is Mario. Where's his game? Only the most popular franchise of all time? No, we don't need that. We'll put out a fucking Peach game, a Yoshi game, and a Star Fox game that don't even equal half the sales combined that any Mario game would. Hello! Wake up, Miyamoto! Wake up!
When they were talking about things like, if we have this game, shouldn't Peach be more energetic in the movie as well? Which might help explain why Peach ended up being a girl boss, as some would say. I wouldn't. In the first movie, especially as compared to a lot of her game portrayals. So I think that's interesting, how we're seeing this kind of back and forth between the games and the movies influencing each other, and also how that influences the game lineup as well. Kind of interesting here to see Nintendo really lean into the synergy these days, especially even more than it did with the first movie. Continuing on though, so we've already talked about Star Fox being a remake, and Miyamoto was asked about if there are too many remakes, to which he says, some people might say that there are a lot of remakes, but after 5 years, a lot of people have outgrown games and stopped playing them. Young people today don't have the opportunity to play games from 10 years ago, so remaking them to be more playable and releasing them again is a good way to meet the demand.
Hold up. Hit the break. So Miyamoto says we have to remake games because audiences from the past or audiences that are young don't get to play the games from the past. Gee, if only there was a service that Nintendo has online that they have people pay $50 a year for. It's called the NSO. If only they had some systems that had games on there that could be released and replayed. You mean like you already did Star Fox 64? Why didn't we get just a brand new Star Fox game then? What about the GameCube games? Hello? I mean, you got 9 GameCube games. How hard is it to put GameCube games on the NSO? You could do that. You could bolster the service. No, we can resell everything for a higher price. Then why even have the fucking NSO service? Put them all out, a la carte. Fuck. What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? Also, I can answer the question why Nintendo's doing remakes. It's the same reason every other company's doing remakes. I've never seen so many goddamn remakes, re-releases, ports, whatever, in my whole life. They're doing it because it's easy money. It captures the nostalgia. It's a lot of profit. Development costs are low. It's quick. It's easy money, man. And people rebuy this shit over and over and over and over and over again. Like me. I'm guilty. But we're going to have a whole top 10 list at the end of the year about nothing but remade games. Remade, re-released, ported, Switch 2 editions, you name it. We're doing a whole top 10 list that's separate from new games. That's how ridiculous it's gotten. I mean, just this year alone, not just Nintendo stuff, but just this year alone, we got Star Fox 64 remade. We got Assassin's Creed Black Flag remade. Rayman Legends being retold. We got freaking Halo Campaign Evolved coming out. Black Ops 1 and 2 has been ported. Ocarina of Time is coming. Xenoblade Chronicles got a Switch 2 edition for every single Xenoblade Chronicles this year, by the end of the year. Mario Wonder got a Switch 2 edition. Gothic 1 got remade. Dragon Quest 7 got reimagined. I think there's Metal Gear stuff going on. I don't know. It's insanity. The remakes are out of control. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think about these two news stories? Are you upset that Nintendo is not giving you a refund from the tariff increase? And are you upset and tired of these remakes and want some new content? Let me know in the comments down below. But for now, this is RJ signing out. Have a good one.